NBA 2K20. The game is finally out, and yikes, it is not doing so hot. The game was already in hot waters for this trailer right here, which practically glorified gambling in a game that is indeed rated as E for Everyone, or PEGI 3 in Europe. This is a game for kids where there is, at the very least, simulated gambling, and I would argue that there is also, indeed, actual gambling. You can put real money into these card packs to gamble for rewards. So that made waves across the internet, but as if all that wasn't enough, turns out the game released in a rather horrible state. So let's start with this article from Screen Rant, whose headline reads, NBA 2K20 gets heavily review bombed by fans. Here's why. The explanation provided reads, with most criticizing its microtransactions or calling NBA 2K20 a gambling scheme and literally a casino. Others call it out for adding too little to the previous year's game, with some reports that it even uses the NBA 2K19 logo as a desktop icon on PC and containing bugs. Indeed, if you go check out this Kotaku article, they actually talk about this, and they show a screenshot of this being the case, and multiple users have reported this. If it wasn't obvious before that each new sports title entry is basically an older entry, but with a few things tweaked, plus a lot of bolstering in terms of monetization, well, I mean, this kind of highlights that pretty handily. Here's another article from PC Gamer, whose headline reads, NBA 2K20 is plagued with issues and taking a hammering on Steam. The relevant portion of the article reads, the list of issues is long and includes slow loading, countless reports of crashes, reputation bars, and other progression systems freezing, and of course, loot boxes. The triple threat mode has also been taken offline, with 2K not yet able to say when it will reappear. It's not just a shoddy PC port either, as the problems appear to be affecting all versions of the game. So here is one Twitter user who highlighted one of the game's many issues. I mean, visual glitches like that are just, unacceptable. It's hilarious for sure, but we are in 2K 2020 now, and given that it's practically just an upgrade of 2019, or it's supposed to be an upgrade of last year's entry, to see this stuff happening, it's just baffling that they'd launch a game this way. Now 2K has been trying to put out the fire. According to PC Gamer on Twitter, 2K support has been responding to complaints by asking players to open a ticket, as well as directing them to various support articles. If you're one of many having trouble, you can also use live chat to reach 2K support team without making a ticket. So I don't know how well that's really going, but from the looks of it, not so hot. But before we get deeper into that, here is what NBA 2K20 Steam page looks like. As you can see right here, the reviews right now are overwhelmingly negative, with only 15% of people who review the game giving it a positive review, while 85% gave it a negative review. And you can read some of the reviews down here. One of the top ones here reads, it's pretty good, a couple new things, but mostly copied from last year. The funniest thing is that when you alt-tab, you can see the NBA 2K19 icon in the taskbar. That's pretty sad. Another user said, do not pay more than $20 for this NBA 2K19 2020 version. That's the general sentiment. It's basically the same game as last year. This feels like a patch that's being sold as a new $60 product. And there are plenty of other reviews that highlight all kinds of different things, but mainly it's the microtransactions, the fact that the game feels samey as last year, and the incessant bugs and crashes and glitches that just should not be in a game that makes so much money, and that is basically such a minor adjustment from last year's entry. Next up, we have Metacritic. This is the PlayStation 4 version of the game, the one that's received the most reviews, and the user score kind of speaks for itself. And there are a couple reviews here worth highlighting. This user, for example, he said, "This is too much. You buy a game and it's only playable if you pay for extra coins to buy skills or gamble for cards." Indeed, they'll tell you that, well, you can technically earn this stuff via gameplay, but the progression rate for gameplay is so slow that it's just untenable for the average player. You basically have to pay to have a reasonable, fun experience. Next up, we have this user who said, "I'd skip this one. If you play 2K19, 2K18, you aren't missing very much. Upgraded mechanics and upgraded animations, but not much else. I'd say wait till the price drops. Don't drop the $60 on this game." From there, let's move on to Reddit, where a lot of the hardcore players are highlighting some of the biggest issues with this title, starting with this popular post that has already garnered 3.5 thousand upvotes and a 97% approval rate. It reads, "Guys, I'm super proud. Today has been my most productive day in a long time. I've literally cleaned up my entire house, assembled furniture, moved some other furniture around, and did 3 loads of laundry. And it literally all happened during load screens. Come on, 2K, get your shit together." So yeah, loading screens have been a major issue. They just take ridiculously long for whatever reason, and it's just baffling that 2K shipped the game in this state, that they didn't delay it a little bit to kind of work out the kinks here and there on stuff like this that is so fundamental. Next up, we have another user highlighting the loading issues. He basically just posted a screenshot of the loading screen saying, "My experience with 2K20, 2.4 thousand upvotes and 99% approval rate." Then we have what I can only surmise to be a gameplay glitch. I'm sure this isn't the way the game's supposed to work. So this guy right here, he's taking some shots, and as you can see from the green bar here, he's pulling each one perfectly, and yet for some reason, as you can see, it keeps missing. This is not how the game's supposed to be. Perhaps worst of all is the server issues that 2K20 is having, especially given that this is a game that relies on online features for progression and rewards. So this user right here, he posted a thread titled, "End of game, game winning 3, game crashes for 5th time since launch, same glitch since 2K18. And as you can see, here is an error message that reads, "There's a problem with your connection to our online services. Please visit the following website for up-to-date information." A lot of people have been getting this exact same error, and what this means is that when this happens, all the rewards they could have earned from all the effort they put into a match, all of that's gone. And this seems to often happen like deep into a game or a match, which is especially frustrating. And keep in mind that this game is already pretty stingy with gameplay rewards, so to have issues like this that completely waste people's time that they put into a game or a match, that completely just deny them of rewards because the folks over at 2K couldn't get their shit together, yeah, that's causing plenty of ire. So much ire, in fact, that the hashtag #FixTwoK20 is actually trending on Twitter, as you can see right here. Now, right now, it's in the number 2 spot, but I took a screenshot from yesterday when this stuff was at number 1. So what does the hashtag entail? Well, we can already see right here that there are plenty of complaints. So a patch came out today, according to user 2K20 News, and on that front, here is what this Twitter user had to say. There was a 7 GB patch for NBA 2K20 today, and all it did was slightly increase the park speed. It did not fix any of the main issues like 12-hour loading screens and frozen reputation. Fucking hell, 12-hour loading screens? So I guess this user right here wasn't exaggerating when he was talking about how he did all of these house chores and all of that took place during loading screens. That is actually pretty insane. Here's a video from an older basketball game entry, and it highlights how it has no problems whatsoever with keeping up with players' input so that people who are skilled enough actually score instead of, this bullshit right here where the user gets a green bar and every time he misses for whatever reason makes no sense. Here's a response that 2K provided to one Twitter user. It reads, "Hi Jesse, unfortunately I won't be able to provide any information about the reputation you have missed out on at this point of time. Once there will be any information about this, you will be able to read about it on our Twitter pages. You can keep playing if you wish, but unfortunately you won't be able to get the rep for the games whilst there is no permanent fix for the issue. If you might get the rep once the fix has been implemented, is, as I stated above, unfortunately unknown at this time. Kind regards, Robin from 2K Support." Here's another user who highlighted some of the major issues the game currently has. Number 1, badge progress not counting. Number 2, rep progress not counting. 3, overall progress not counting. 4, lagouts, error codes. 5, blue screens. So basically everything that makes NBA 2K20 function is broken at launch. It is an unplayable game at this stage. At least for people who, want to engage in a gameplay loop and a progression system. The progression system's broken. But hey, I'm sure you can at least still spend money on packs and stuff, right? I'm sure that stuff's been completely nailed because it is ultimately the most important aspect of NBA 2K. So yeah, I think you get the idea. This game is an utter disaster. So much so that Fix NBA 2K20 is actually trending on Twitter, beyond many other topics. Even the most hardcore fans are sick and tired of 2K's greed and laziness when it comes to this series. $60 they're charging players for the same game as last year, launched in a broken state, with the monetization slate wiped clean. Make no mistake, that's the main reason for why they re-release these sports games every year. So that everything you earned last year is wiped away, so that you have to start over again in terms of earning player cards and all of these rewards, so that you spend more money on top of the $60 that you're spending on what's basically a patch disguised as a new game. It doesn't get worse than this, folks. And this is on top of the gambling that's being advertised as kid-friendly. With that, I would like to end this news update and discussion video. Thank you for tuning in. To be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Yong Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Yong out!